central gears within Elastic Arts, an actualizer of video dreams for artists, especially those in Chicago. He helped direct, along with Chris, y'all did work on Golden Girls, Take a Break, Smoke a Fatty, which is a crazy video. I still haven't seen it to this day, but I know it's crazy because I was there. And he is one of the founders, as we said, of Flex Obscura series and festival. So please, give a warm welcome to Jonathan Woods, aka Blaq and Heru. Come on up. Don't be afraid to clap. He ain't put a hex. He said it was a good spell. Don't be scared. Okay. Now, a very special treat. You know, we saw them as a collective footage for Impakt Studios, but I want to take time to introduce them individually. First, Hana Mitchell, aka Blaq. Unfortunately, she's not able to be here due to extenuating circumstances, but like I said, the work speaks for itself, but we still got to speak on her.
Absolutely.
In her absence. So, Blaq is an editor for NAM and the other half of Impakt Studio. Film is often called an editor's medium, and Blaq works the editing process with a certain finesse and ease that often leads her to getting directorial credit off GP. Like, she's that good, they were like, you know what, we go give you credit for this too. She brings a spontaneous style of editing that elevates any project, and she's worked on Grammy-nominated music videos and other high-profile projects for the likes of
house music then. We were into punk and rock, and you know, I was listening to Suicidal Tendencies, Dead Kennedys, bands like that, you know, Black Sabbath, and so I ended up getting an appreciation for house music, and some of my good friends I met through the Reactor. Mark, who does audio for me now. Ron Trent got his start at the Reactor. I think he was probably 16. He wasn't even supposed to be in the club. And this club was open, it would be open from 9 p.m. to 9 a.m.
Oh my God.
It was crazy. But it was the best job ever. I worked 3 days a week and skateboarded the rest of the week. So, yeah.
Well, that's interesting, because of course you do music videos and everything. How has music influenced you, and how is, like, you know, the stuff that you listen to, like, evolved over time, and how is it and I ask this question because back in the day when Chris and I were directing music videos for an offshoot of Warner Brothers for Ichiban, it was really funny because what we would do is there'd be all this music we would listen to that we wish that we were doing music videos for, and they were bringing us all these rap groups, and we were like, why don't we just make that damn video for these guys? They'll never know. So you know, we were always inspired by different things, you know, to create. But how is you know, are you still inspired in those ways? And then what inspires you now? Or
definitely. My musical taste is still, you know, all over the place. From industrial to metal to experimental to folk to rap. So yeah, those definitely influenced me, along with, you know, like anime. I still like a lot of old classics. I was just watching the original Appleseed anime. I always go back to Akira. It's just phenomenal work that speaks and holds its own. And that's one of the things, like with Impakt, with us choosing the name, I want you to watch what we do and it sticks in your head. You know, long after, you know, like nowadays I go to a movie and I'll be like, it'll be a half hour later, I'm like, what did we just go see? You know, and yeah, and it's sad, you know. And a lot of it can be the oversaturation, but a lot of it is, I feel, is just the stagnation of creativity and the focus of the business part over the creative part. So unfortunately, a lot of times stories suffer in those decisions. But music is everything. You know, music got me through a lot of rough times. When I was younger, my mom passed when I was 10, and that to me was when I became an adult. And I dealt with seasonal depression, things like that. Before I even knew what it was, it would be 30s and realized that's what I had. And I remember one of the birthday parties, I would hardly ever celebrate my birthday. And so a friend of mine had a club in the south suburbs. She's like, man, if you want to do something, you can have it for your birthday. So I'm like, you know what, yeah. And during that birthday event, I said that I suffer from seasonal depression. And so many brothers that I've known was like, I do too. And it just opened up this floodgate. It's like, wow, you know. And so music helped me get through that, Suicidal Tendencies. Even though the name of the band is Suicidal Tendencies, they make some really kick-ass, don't let the world get you down music. So one of their songs I still listen to is called You Can't Bring Me Down, you know, and it's just an anthem like no matter what's going on, you cannot bring me down, you know. So that band is phenomenal. Dead Kennedys, I learned protest through the Dead Kennedys. The Dead Kennedys is the reason you have the parental advisory sticker. A lot of people thought it was Luke, but before Luke, it was the Dead Kennedys. And Tipper Gore and the PMRC, Parents Music Resource Center, came up with this sticker. Yeah, this is dangerous music. And of course, all they did was make all the kids want to go buy the stuff. So, yeah. But the Dead Kennedys were talking about the gentrification in our communities, multinational corporations that are doing coup d'etats in other countries, you know, for their own sake or for the sake of our country. And so it took me a long time to want to listen to rap music because I'm like, I'm not talking about nothing. I'm like, eh. And then I heard Public Enemy. And I was like, well, wait a minute, they talking about the same stuff? Dead Kennedys, okay. And then I go in the credits of back when they had, you know, the CD inserts, CD cassette. And they had listed, and one of the thank yous was Jello Biafra, who was the lead singer of the Dead Kennedys, you know. And really, Dead Kennedys is what got me into rap. Because I wasn't into rap. I wasn't into, you know, I was the nonconformist. I was running around with green mohawk back in the 80s when it wasn't cool. Like, I look at these kids and I'm like, y'all don't know how much flack I got for my crazy hairstyles. Y'all get away, y'all can do anything, you know. Back then, yeah, no, it was crazy. And then I'm in the hood, you know, I'm already a weirdo, I'm in the hood. I'm going to a high school, I'm going to CVS where there were vice lords. I live where it was GDs. So I'm fighting at school, and then I'm fighting at home. I'm like, wait a minute, dude, we was playing tag last week, now you super thug. You know, like the 80s when the crack era hit, everything changed, you know. But yeah, so it's been interesting. Luckily I could fight. I wouldn't say I won all the fights, but they definitely knew they was in a fight.
So there have been a lot of different projects you've worked with. Actually, you know what? Before I ask that question, how did you and Blaq first start working together? And and the interesting thing is, once again, you know, most folks who work with an editor, you know, don't give the type of credit that you give to Hana, because once again, on all of your videos, you list her as director. And how did that evolve? How did that happen?
Okay, so I met Hana through. Anybody ever have a friend that always wants to be part of the conversation, even though they're not really part of the conversation? So we were talking about film video production, and this guy Melik, was it Melik? I think, yeah. And he was like, I know an editor. I know somebody, she in film school. We're like, yeah, right, whatever, dude. You know. And he's like, for real. I'm gonna call her right now, not knowing that she really had no respect for him either. You know. So she was like, what? Who? What? So we were doing a lot of projects together, and so we met her, and back then we used to have to log tapes. So this was before you transfer footage, you know, instantly or whatever. If it was an hour worth of footage, you had to watch an hour worth of footage to get it into a computer. So she would log the tapes and tell us what takes were good and do a list, and she was really good at it. And she was like, I think I can edit. She kept telling me, okay. So her first edit job was for Twista, a video we did for Twista, Peace of Mind. It was Twista featuring Dark Side Ballers. And So the interesting thing is, I've been doing this 30 years at least. I've only pulled permits maybe twice, okay? So a lot of times it's run and gun, right? So one of the reasons I give her director's credit, because she has the ability to make some shit we did on the fly, real quick, undercover, and make it work, you know? And she just looks at it in a different lens, and she'll be like, wait a minute, I know you shot this way, but what if we do this? What if we do that? And it's just like, boy, I would have never thought of that, you know? So she makes me look good. She makes me look good. It's no doubt about it. You know, just an amazing person, editor, friend, confidant. That's my wife.
Freaking hilarious.
Yeah.
If you all, you know, get an opportunity to have a conversation, to actually be in a room with her for a second, and you know, during a conversation, she's just like on a sneak tip. She's absolutely hilarious.
Yeah.
But this does actually flow into the earlier question I was going to ask,
Okay.
which is because you all have developed your own ethos and everything, you've worked in a lot of different projects for a lot of different folks. And what if you were able to say boil down and describe like some of the basic tenets of your approach to creation and everything, what would you say those elements are?
I have a superpower. My superpower is making clients believe my ideas are their ideas. Most clients have shit ideas. So, you know, I figured out a way to start a finesse, you know, my language, and yeah, don't you think this? Yeah, that would be, you know, it's the these aren't the droids you're looking for kind of thing. So that's the first thing. Then the next thing is I'm never satisfied with anything I do. So I'm constantly pushing, trying not to repeat myself, or I hate following trends. I don't like everybody do the neon tubes, the fluorescent LED tubes. No, I'm not doing that. Yeah, because if everybody's doing it, I'm not gonna do it. You know, and our body of work speaks to that. You know, like with Kick Push. You know, when Kick Push. So let me tell you the story about Kick Push. Atlantic Records didn't want Kick Push. Okay. At the time, really, I'm just finding out. Lupe and Chill, his partner, he did the song, but he did it for the guys at Uprise Skate Shop, because he had just gotten into skating and things like that. And he had this idea for the song, but at the time, Chill, his partner, caught a case, and they were at a crossroads. Lupe was at a crossroads, and Chill was like, if we're gonna go to court and fight this case, do we want them to be able to bring music as evidence against us? Right? So they went in a whole nother direction. Lupe was pretty much a gangster rapper. People would not believe that, you know? And he went in a whole different direction. Kick Push was the start of that. Atlantic didn't want the song. Lupe and Chill leaked it to GCI, and it took off, right? So now they want to get behind the song, right? You know, these two-faced record execs, so that's a whole nother story. And so now they're doing what's called chasing the song. It's out there, now they have to get a video done. So we did a video, Lupe had a feature in Fader magazine, and we did a video for a song off his mixtape called Failure, and we did a snippet of a song off the album called Emperor Soundtrack. And so Lou was like, man, Chris is the guy, I want to work with him, you know. And so the record label was like, no, we're gonna get Hype Williams to do it, you know. Hype Williams, that's the legend. Hype came in with a budget of $160,000 to do Kick Push. Chill was like, we ain't spent that much on the album. No, so they was like, my guy Chris go do it. And the label's like, well, we're not gonna pay for it. We don't know him. Whatever. So, but we had already, we did Public Enemy by then. And so, Lou had a deal with Reebok, and he said, look, from Reebok, but we need to do this video. I was like, let's do it. So he allowed me to cast it and everything. So we picked a skater named Kiko. He was a pro skater from Chicago who had just got out of jail for assault. He was from Humboldt Park, grew up in a real rough neighborhood, and you know, shit happens. But he had just got out, and I was like, he fits the bill. And I told Chill and Lou his backstory, and they were like, perfect. Okay, cool. So we get ready to go shoot the video, and the label is pissed because they ain't got no say-so in it. I get a call to meet at a hotel by the airport from one of the execs from Atlantic Records. So I go there, I'm like, okay, cool, go there. So I meet this guy, he's got a duffel bag and some stuff. So he's like, okay, I understand you getting ready to do Kick Push, we got some ideas, we wanna help you out. I'm like, okay, cool. So he hands me a card. He said, this is a guy, he's got a Bentley coupe. At some point, can we have Lupe get off the skateboard and get in the Bentley coupe? I'm like, what does this have to do with Kick Push? And so then he's like, yeah, and Kiko, yeah, he's from the streets, right? So let's have him skate past a crime scene and there's like bullet shells on the ground. I'm like, what the hell this got to do with Kick Push? So then he hands me, he goes in the duffel bag, he pulls out these tight women boy shorts that have Lupe Fiasco's here across the butt, and he hands me another card and says, I've got this choreographer, she's got these dancers, they're gonna wear this. So I'm just sitting there steaming the whole time, not knowing what's going on, like, what the heck? So I called Chill. Chill had no idea that Atlantic had sent somebody here who literally flew in for this meeting and flew right back out. He said, nod your head yes to everything, do none of it. I'm like, okay. So we do the video. Drama doesn't start there. We do the video, we're working on it. Lupe is at his first Grammys, right? So we had 10 seconds of the video to show him. I had it posted in a hidden thing in our website, and we sent him the link, and he looked at it, he's like, oh wow, this is dope. Next thing you know, like 20 minutes later, we get a call saying our website is hacked, and this 10-second snippet is all over the internet. This is 2006. This isn't like hacking is now. This is the next level. We like, what? So we call our host, and they're like, we've got to shut down our whole system to stop this leak.
Wow.
So we're like, what the heck? So we do it, whatever. We're gonna come full circle to this. So then, back in the day, you used to have to send videos, you had to send a DVD to BET and all the platforms for them to look at it to see if there's any offensive language, logos, whatever, right? So it's not broadcast quality. It's just something for them to review. And then when it's time to send it, one you send what's called a digibeta, which is an expensive big tape. So we sent it to BET, whatever. But Lupe knew who his audience was. They were going to premiere it on MTV2 because he had more fans on MTV2 than anybody else. BET was like, we gonna premiere it. So we just chilling at the office one day, we get a call from Chill, he's like, they finna premiere the video. We're like, how? They don't have a master. He's like, I know, we call it Atlantic, da-da-da-da-da. So 106 in Parks premieres the video from a DVD, not broadcast quality. We're pissed, like, oh my God. So Roxy was the person on BET. And when she finished playing the video, she just kind of looked stunned, right? Because there's no gold chains, there's no half-naked women, there's nothing about shooting nobody. So she's like, what did I just watch? Lou's fans, the Lou Army, blasted her so bad, they just obliterated her. It was crazy. So fast forward about the hacker. Years later, Lupe is in, I think, Hong Kong. Some guy comes up to him, I'm sorry. What? I'm the one that hacked the website and put that out. Wow. This is like 10 years later. So yeah, crazy.
Wow. That was a good story.
Thank you. Yes, we got it like that.
He was following me for that video.
Deep. Okay. Yeah, that's.
And it went on to be nominated for the video of the year at BT's first Hip Hop Awards. Ironic.
So, wow, that's something else. So as a filmmaker, whose work a lot of different people, really appreciate and admire and everything, you definitely end up like attracting a lot of folks with a lot of different opportunities. And, sometimes, when people show up, really excellent, opportunity. But you move on along, especially sometimes when there are people with quite a bit of influence in names and things like this, and you think things are going to be cool, and maybe sometimes they're not even people necessarily with household names, but definitely with like means, to get things done and these kinds of things. And it seems like it's like a great idea, but it ends up sometimes being sort of like a whole briar patch or wackadoodle. And unfortunately, sometimes even to the point of personal danger.
Yeah.
If you feel comfortable talking about it, could you talk or share one of your experiences in this kind of category? Because
Okay.
a lot of people don't really realize that as filmmakers, a lot of times people think that filmmakers do one or two things. Oh yeah, maybe they shoot videos, or maybe they do films, maybe they only do documentaries, or maybe they only do this. But most filmmakers who are not household names per se do a wide variety of visual storytelling, and we do indeed end up with a lot of we attract a lot of interesting situations and everything. So that's where the question is coming from. So yes, if you feel
Sure. Okay. Trying to think which one I can change the names as to not incriminate anybody. There's a wide variety of stories. So we'll progressively go up. So being an entrepreneur has its challenges. Being an entrepreneur dealing with the streets is a whole other set of challenges. Sometimes getting paid or getting final payments can be difficult, but also, I'm from the hood too. So I've had clients. I had a client that owed me some money, and I understand the economy of the streets. Sometimes somebody get popped for, and had to go to sit down or whatever, whatever. You need the bail money for your guys. So my thing is communication is key. If you talk to me and explain the situation, okay, cool. The minute you stop communicating, it's disrespect. So I had this one client, and he ignored my calls. I'm like, okay, I need more money. I need to pay Hana, aka Blaq. I need to pay the rent at the studio, whatever. So he didn't realize that I knew where he lived. Okay. So I called up some of the guys in the hood that I've helped out. I'll just say I've helped out. I was like, yo, I need to pay somebody a visit. Like, what you got in mind? I was like, well, he's got this nice car with these nice rims. How about we take the rims? So Thanksgiving, we go early. We take the wheels off his car. We put this car on cinder blocks. Call him up from another number. He answers. I'm like, yo, I need more money. Yo, man, he want to talk loud. I was like, you might want to look out your window. He looks out his window. He's like, man, what? How y'all want what? I had my money within the hour. Now, this is not strictly to street guys. I did a rap video for a Christian rap group.
No.
They would not return my call about the final payment. I'm really trying to. So this is the thing. I'll double charge street guys so I can give cats like Christian rappers a break, right? So, kind of balance my karma out. So,
Wrong religion.
so I'm just frustrated. I'm like, oh, I really need to get this money. I get it. I gave him a deal. And one thing, Hana don't play about her money. If y'all follow her on Instagram, she like, no deposit, no nothing, no 30 days, no this, no that. She don't play. I'm a little bit more forgiving. And so I'm driving, and in front of me is a car, and it has a bumper sticker that says, "What would Jesus do?" I call them and leave a message. I said, "What would Jesus do?" I had my money within 30 days. So yeah. So then, I'm trying to think. So way music videos usually go, right? They send me a song, I listen to it, I come up with a concept, get them to agree with the concept, we set a date, get everything in motion, whatever. So this particular client had a concept, set everything in motion. Day of the shoot, I was renting a crane from one of the rental houses, and the people who had the crane hadn't brought it back yet, so I'm running late. So meanwhile, the models we have, they're calling me, they're like, we're at the location, but we don't see the artist or nothing. So I'm calling the artist, I'm like, y'all there? They're like, yeah, we're there. I'm like, there. They're like, no, we're not there. So I'm like, okay, hold on. So I finally get the crane, I go, and I meet the models. I'm like, okay, I'm here with the models, where are you all at? Oh, we moved the shot, we moved the location. I'm like, okay, where you at? So it wasn't far away, so we go to the location. So, like I said, we're running late, so they've got, I think it was a Maybach and a Maserati on this basketball court. I'm like, okay, cool, looks cool. They have a crowd of people because they're hood stars, right? I'm like, okay, so let's keep this energy up. Since all these people here, they've been waiting, we'll start off with a crowd shot. So I'll put on a Steadicam, right? So a Steadicam is like having 150 pounds on a small on your back, right? But, you know, you get the cool shots. Side note, you're only supposed to wear a Steadicam for no more than 5 minutes. Every time I've put on a Steadicam, it's been 30 minutes or more. So I'm like, okay, cool. So this is a shot. We're gonna walk around, you're gonna follow me and get the crowds, whatever. They're like, okay, cool. So they play the song, and I'm like, that's not the song. What's up? Oh, we changed the song. How do you change the song? How do you change the song? I'm like, okay, I need to hear the song now, because now.
Not tell your director.
So, yeah. So Bruce Lee, be like water. I'm like, okay, so I'm like, okay. I'm listening to the song, I'm like, okay. I guess it'll work. Okay, all right. So do the verse, follow me, we'll get the shot. So we doing it, and the artist, he's not keeping up with me. I'm like, dude, I need you to keep up with me. Oh, I got shot yesterday.
Oh, man.
What? He lifts his shirt, sure enough. I'm like, okay, I'll walk slower. So we're doing it, like, okay. And then he stops at one part. And I'm like, why you stop? Oh, that's this other rapper, I'm not gonna say any artist names, this other rapper's verse. Well, where's he at? We didn't tell him we were shooting the video. So I'm like, okay, is there anybody else on here that's not on the premises? No, I got the last verse, he just has this verse. Okay, tell you what, I got an idea. Is there a song, a part of a song we can do for this part and then cut back to your last verse? Yeah. So they played me some songs, so I'm like, okay, let's do this one. Okay, cool. So then he's like, okay, I got the perfect location for that. Okay, cool. So we go from that location and we go to this liquor store that they frequent, whatever, food and liquor kind of store. So we're shooting, and I notice everybody, instead of looking at the camera, as a car goes past, they're rapping and they're doing this. I'm like, yo, I need y'all to look here, look at the camera. Oh, this is where I got shot at. Let's leave now. Okay, so he's like, okay, I got another spot. Okay, cool. So we go on another spot, and he goes in this house that looks abandoned, right? He goes in there for about 10 minutes. He's like, okay, come on in. I come in, it is a live trap house with topless women bagging product. We cannot shoot here. Like, well, let's just shoot on the porch. Okay, fine. So we come outside, shoot on the porch. So they're jumping to the song, and it's probably like 60 people on this porch. I'm watching the house do this. I'm like, okay, cut, because I am not about to be witness to a house collapse. We get through the shoot, get the video together, yay, whoo. They try to stiff me on the pavement.
After he got shot.
So, I'm like, dude, I need my money. You know, you ain't getting the video to get the money. We're going back and forth, right? So this went on for maybe 2 weeks. I get a call. He got shot in the same place and died. And his mother wants to play the video at the funeral. I'm like, well, I have no reason to give you the video since he's dead, whatever. They brought my money and played it at the funeral.
I do feel that I need to share with you, throughout my time knowing Chris, it's really interesting because when the television show Atlanta came out, I thought that someone had actually bugged Chris's studio, because one of the interesting thing is, like, a lot of the folks who would come to one of the places that he would, that he'd be conducting business out of, it's like folks would come through there and it would be like a confession booth where folks would just, it was more like a psychiatrist's office, where folks would like be sitting up and they would tell all of these amazing stories that, were where they talked about quite a bit that they had at stake at this particular time in the story, but they were also very funny. But you also saw this really deep, big-hearted, caring aspect of these cats who you would never think, if you just saw them, you would never think that. But for some reason, these dudes would be pouring their hearts out and just sharing in some of the most amazing, ways and everything. And that's been a lot of the people who you've actually worked with. And it's been really, really something else. Cause
I remember. So at one point, every major gang in the city had a record label. Everybody was trying to use that as a way to get out. And it wasn't like the trap music here where they were necessarily gang banging on wax now. It wasn't that. It was just like, we're gonna make some cool street music to get out the hood or get put on. So I remember we had just finished He Say, She Say from Lupe Fiasco. And I showed it to these guys, and I don't know if you listen to the song, it's the same verse twice. The first time it's being told from a mom who is trying to deal with a father that's not in the life of their child, and the second time it's done, it's from the perspective of the child, of the father. And so it's a really heart-wrenching story. And so we showed it to these cats, and the guy, he just looked at it, and he teared up. He's like, man, excuse my language, fuck this music shit. I need to go spend some time with my son. And I've had that happen on a couple other projects. I'll never forget, we did the music video for Eric Roberson's song Steel, right? And it was weird because we shot it in New York and Jersey, and I was working another gig and Hana was editing, and she had left the office and she said, I left the project up. I want you to look at the video and call me after you see it. I looked at the video and I was in tears. Like, oh my God, oh my God. And it's funny because it was so surreal because I shot the video and did not realize how impactful it was going to be. It dealt with breast cancer, but you don't realize that till the end of the video. And it's like, oh wow. And I would play it for my guys. They would come in, and these are like hardcore cats, I know some people. I actually have a client that was on America's Most Wanted at one point, and they were watching this video, and all of them had someone that had had breast cancer or some form of cancer, and it immediately connected. And that was our second video to be, no, that was our first video to be nominated for a Grammy. And it's powerful. So Eric Roberson Steele, shout out to Eric for letting us do that. And man, it's, to this day, I'm choking up just thinking about that video. And that's what I mean by impact, the power to get someone to think about something in a different way and to just touch someone,
So one of the other partnerships that you've been involved with that has indeed bore some quite beneficial fruit is with this studio that you're involved with.
Yes.
So tell us some about that and about how it reaches into what it is that you are really trying to do in, if you will, the present future, what you're doing now, and the trajectory that you're looking to
Gotcha.
towards.
So right before the pandemic, I met a gentleman named Wayne Ware, and him and at the time I think it was about 6 other partners had acquired a space, about 100,000 square feet on the south side. And they had some sort of ideas of what they wanted to do, and think I introduced them to the stagecraft stuff that they use for the Mandalorian, and it's like, whoa, this kid's, this guy's, he knows his stuff, And they welcomed me in, and we became partners, and formed what's now called Ace Universal Group. So what Ace Universal Group is the indie-friendly CineSpace. So it's all Black owned, and like I said, we've got 100,000 square feet. We've managed to keep it, Black minority owned, 100%, which is hard to do these days, especially in this business. Yeah, we need some money to finish out some things, but we've been working. We've had Power Book of Four shoot there. We've had several BET films shoot there, some music videos. Ricardo Islas, a brilliant Latino filmmaker, he shot some scenes for his vampire movie, which is streaming, Night Hunt, there as well. Tommy, who's in the room, don't worry, we're about to get to finish that. His piece, it's a cyberpunk, super dope sci-fi piece. But yeah, we've been working there, and it's part of the bigger plan. I'm all for. Okay, so let me just back up a little bit. The film industry was not built for Black folks. Okay, we need to control our narrative. We need to own our narrative. We need to benefit from the ownership and control of our narrative. Okay, that's my primary goal. I'm so sick of the types of films that are coming out, and it's a lot of filmmakers. They're only doing this stuff because they think it's going to sell. They're like, I'm gonna do this because that's what the distribution companies, whatever. So yeah, I'm not in a rush to join the cavalcade of crap that's out there. We want to push the envelope. We want to do these stories that inspire. Like I remember in high school, we had to take Greek mythology and things like that. And it's like, well, what about African mythology? There's so many Black stories, African stories that can inspire these youth. Because if you can inspire them, then they won't do the stuff that they're doing now. Myths and stories have these transformative effect on young, old, whatever you are. If you can inspire someone with a story, you can change that person's life. Like when I saw Star Wars as a kid, I was like, oh my God, I want to do that. This is a career? So the thing I didn't know was, I thought George Lucas did everything, so I learned everything. I learned animation, I learned special effects, cinematography, some basic sound stuff. And then when I found out that's all he kind of did was sit in the chair, I was like, oh, that's boring. I'm hands-on, I'm more akin to Michael Bay or James Cameron in that they're very hands-on in every aspect. But yeah, those stories inspire me. Like, it's funny, I'll still see the vestiges of some of those influences and things 30, 40, 50 years later, like, oh man, that's from that, this is from that, okay. Things that stick in your psyche for whatever reason. So yeah, that's what we plan on doing. What we've created is an area where other creators can come and create, and what we want to do is utilize those funds to not only sustain the studio, but also to invest in our own production. So imagine if CineSpace, with all the money they make, decided to become a studio. They've got all the funds and all the locations. So yeah, so we built our own play line. What they say, if you're not on the table, if you're not at the table, you're on the menu. We built our own table.
It's great because you all have definitely ended up inviting quite a few different opportunities to you that have been pretty cool. The airplane fuselage that was there, things like that. So at this point, I'm interested in opening it up to the audience, wanting to know if anyone has any questions that they would like to ask Mr. Adams.
I can bring a mic to anybody if y'all want to.
Don't be scared, I don't bite.
Look, y'all not gonna get another chance to do this. So, okay, we got one.
Oh, okay.
We got two.
She first.
Okay, you know what?
I'm curious to know what has been like your most, I'm sure I don't
So
know my.
they can hear you on the internet too.
Okay, thank you for clarifying. Hello, everyone on the internet. I'm curious what has been like your most exciting project or most rewarding project?
So, we did a Public Enemy video. But before we did the Public Enemy video, we did a video for a group called Black Pirate Militia. And we did the video like, man, if we ever got a chance to do a Public Enemy video, this is what we do. And so we did it, and that's what got us the Public Enemy video. And it was just like, it was kind of weird because it was like, well, we kind of already did the Public Enemy video. You know, so, but it was such a blessing. Like, one of the funniest things was hearing Terminator X talk. So if anybody knows about Public Enemy, Terminator X don't talk. He talked with his hand, he's the DJ. But he's talking and he's rolling around the studio on a unicycle. We're like, what? And then Flavor Flav cost us, what, about 2-3 weeks in extra time? So, question, filmmakers. What's the first rule of green screen?
Don't wear green.
Flavor Flav shows up in a complete sweatsuit that totally matches the green screen and would not change.
Oh, wow.
Him and Chuck Chuck is yelling, change, you know we doing green screen? Chuck was like, just shoot him. We're like, what the hell? In 2 weeks. Now we talking software in 1999.
Yes.
Cutting him out frame by frame. I cringe every time I look at those shots. It's crazy. But other than that, I mean, it was so crazy. We got Tricky from London is in the video. We actually shot him before we shot Public Enemy. I had someone that was working at the Cabaret Metro up north, and Tricky, we were fans of, and I remember reading an interview, he remembers saying, because of Chuck D, he just decided he could do an MC because he's got a really gravelly voice or whatever. And so my buddy was like, well, I'm working the show. I was like, well, can you find me the manager, you know, the road manager? And yeah. So tell the guy, yeah, I want to get him in this Public Enemy video, da-da-da-da. And in the big background, in this Cockney, thick English accent, I couldn't understand to this day what this man was saying, what Tricky was saying. He was like, basically it was, hell fucking yeah, I want to be in a Public Enemy video. So we show up with the green screen backstage before his show, and we shoot him. He's like, what you gonna do? I was like, I don't know. Matter of fact, we didn't even have the song yet, right? I was like, I don't know, we're gonna put you in a bubble or something. Okay, whatever. So we ended up putting him in a bubble in the video. But the interesting thing, so back to why we didn't have the song yet, Public Enemy was in the process of severing their ties with Def Jam. And the soonest they could get us, this is before you could just MP3 a song. We got the song the day before they showed up. Yeah. And so we were like, what the hell? Chuck was like, look, I know y'all just got the song, just make it dope.
Yeah, because he was like, you know, hey, listen, I know y'all say you're crazy dope. Nobody got no crazier artistic mind than I do. So we're like, okay, because he was like, I got a background as a graphic designer and things like this. It's like, cool, as long as y'all let us go ahead and do it. And it's funny when you mentioned, Terminator X, because the other thing too, he's got the Terminator glasses and things like this. Brother shows up, takes those off. He has the kindest eyes in the universe, which is one of the reasons why, and he was sitting there a little bored in the studio. So he just started going on their computers. He's like, hey, there's not a lot of security on this thing. Like, I was able to just easily find your passwords and just hack and get in here. Maybe you want to, he was just like a polymath. He was just in everything.
Side note, our production assistants on the Public Enemy video was Carl Seaton, director he's done so much. He's done Godfather Harlem, The Chi, Bel Air, all of that. Snowfall. Yeah. One of our brothers and him and Kenny Young. Kenny Young who has Cold and Windy, the series now. They were our production assistants. They were spinning Chuck D on a turntable for us. Also, who helped us out, Kwame Amawaku, who used to be head of the film office here. you know, one of his first jobs was a production assistant for us, you know. So yeah, we got history in this game, skin in the game. But yeah, so yeah, the Public Enemy shoot was one of those moments. And we had so many cameos, there's so many legends.
Yeah.
Guru, Gang Star's in there, Freddie Fox, the whole Flipmo squad. Matter of fact, Busta Rhymes pulled the lens off the camera. He's like, oh, my fault. He's like, oh, luckily it went back on. I mean, it was Sons of Man with Killer Priest. Who else was in this video?
Blaq Eyed Peas.
Blaq Eyed Peas, their first cameo. They had just came out. They were in the video. It was just crazy. So we shot it. The way it worked out was the Smoke and Grooves tour was this big tour with all these hip hop acts. So this is a funny side note. So Cypress Hill is in there, right? So they were like, hey, go get Cypress Hill off their bus, right? So you open the bus. There's a wall of smoke. It doesn't leave the bus. It stays there. It's like Dracula's mist or something, right? So you go in the bus and you just see a boob, a piece of a butt, an arm. Like, what the heck? They come out. They were so cool, though. It was awesome. That was an awesome video. So yeah, that was one of my favorites. And after we did the Public Enemy video, I was like, you know what? If I never do another music video, I'm happy. And then Kick Push came, and Lupe, and that album. And I never forget the day Lupe came to the studio, because I met his partner Chill first through a gentleman, Shorty Capone, who used to manage Crucial Conflict. And so Chill came, and he looked around, he's like, yeah, Lou go like y'all. Like, what? Okay. So Lou came, and he walked around the studio, and he just was looking, he was quiet. He was looking, and he was looking at the anime we had, and swords, and I had a bunch of crazy toys and stuff. He said, I'm in the right place. And we've been cool ever since, you know. So yeah, Lou, Chill, 1st to 15th, F&F up. Chill free. I'm glad I'm not saying free chill. Chill is free. Chill is free, and it's like he never missed a beat. Like, this is how amazing Chill was. Chill was locked up, built $1 million studio while he was locked up via phone conversations with the architects and stuff. It is beautiful. I remember he called me up, and he's got Jay-Z on the phone. I'm just like, and Jay-Z's like, yes, sir. What you need? Yeah, okay, cool. I'm just like, what? Chill locked up brought me more music videos than cats that was out here on the street. I'm like, wow.
Because he basically had been managing the entirety of Lupe Fiasco's career until a couple of months ago. So, like, you know, all of what we know of Lupe's career has been managed by a brother that thankfully his.
But also the thing about 1st to 15th is legacy, and the way he set it up when he got locked up. His baby girl, his son took charge, and so they didn't miss a beat. They were doing licensing deals worldwide, all kinds of. It was just amazing. And so Chill got out recently, and when we were shooting, I think we were shooting Cake. His daughter came, and I told Chill, I was like, your girl held you down, held this down. She just gave me a big hug and was crying. I'm like, yeah, you know, it was beautiful. You know, to have family you could depend on. He was locked down for almost 19 years. Yeah. So, yeah.
So,
Can I just clap? I'm sorry, that was a great.
Yeah,
Good evening. First off, thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
My name is Omar. I'm a recent graduate of Chicago State. I got my bachelor's in media arts, and my emphasis is on screenwriting, but looking into directing. So I just want to ask, can we connect?
Yeah, we're all about connection here. So I'll make sure I get you info. You know, my whole thing is, especially with what we're doing with H Universal Group, I want to build duplicates of myself, and I just want to create a playground for us to be able to create unabashedly, have all the resources. Because you know, we in the hood, we come up in these communities, we don't have the resources. But you know, we got cameras, we got stages, we got all that. We got my brother Lawrence here. He's got a facility just as impressive, if not more impressive.
Let's get into it.
So yeah, you know, we're trying to work together. I want us all to work together because that's the only way we go get somewhere is together. You know, so yeah, definitely.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey, what's up, Chris?
What up, sir?
Hey, what's better, guerrilla style filming or commercial?
So they both have their advantages and disadvantages. So with commercial, there's more money at stake. So there's the chance of more people influencing your decisions. Okay. Guerrilla, you have the freedom, but you also have the pressure to get things done in a way that, like, okay, I might have this location for 10 minutes, you know, versus, you know, commercial, they're gonna lock it down for however long you need. So I like the pressure. I do. Like you were with me, we shot a short, one of the shorts that's in Paradigm Gray, we shot in a abandoned building in Inglewood. And it was interesting. So Tommy found the building. He sent me. Lawrence found the building. Lawrence found the building. Tommy told me, you need to look at this building. You sent me the video, right? So I'm like, ooh. So this particular story is called Reset. It's on Tubi and Paradigm Gray. It takes place in a post-apocalyptic world. Think bombed out Islamabad, just any kind of bombed out, urban area. And I needed this location. So yeah, Gaza, yeah, especially now, yeah. So I was looking for a location similar. And when I wrote it, I had an idea of using the bakery building on 55th and State. I had shot a Nicki Lynette video there. I was like, oh yeah, I can make that work. But the guy who owned it ended up leasing it to the University of Chicago. He's like, I can't do it no more. I'm like, dang it, okay, cool. So got to looking at different places, and my cousin had found a spot in the south suburbs off 140 something and Wood, old abandoned steel mill. I'm like, oh, this is perfect, this is cool. And the problem is my main character was gonna be running around with body armor and a large weapon. So that meant I need to let people know, right? So Kwame Amwako, he's like, I call him up, I'm like, yo, I wanna shoot there. He's like, man, Chicago Fire, Chicago PD, all these shows been trying to shoot there. They won't let them shoot there. I'm like, what? And we're talking about a town that's derelict, you know. I think, is that Dalton, Harvey, one of them? Harvey, yeah. And I was like, you know, so okay. So I get this photo from Tommy of building Lawrence knew. I was like, ooh, when can I see it? So I go over there, and I never forget. We go in, so you had to go in through the alley, peel open what was supposed to be a boarded up area, and go in, and there were tufts of fur going into the basement, like something drugged something in the basement. I was like, I'm home. And I don't think you had been through the whole building that day. I think you were like, I'm gonna stay right here. I went on every floor. I was like, oh, this is perfect. So then, what I did was, I was like, okay, I stalked the building for about 2 weeks just to see what kind of activity. I'm like, okay, cool. It's in the cut, nobody's around, okay, cool. I tell Harold, okay, we got the spot, so we get ready for shoot day. And we show up, there's police, there's construction crews, I'm like, so I tell everybody, stay in the car. I come up with an idea. I run to Home Depot, I buy some utility vests and some hard hats, right? I was like, okay, follow me, just walk in. So we go, and we walk past the cops, hey, okay. They had a fake clipboard, guys in the alley. And we went in the building, and we shot. And it was funny, because like, we ended up shooting 2 days, because I kept thinking we were gonna get shut down, so I was more concerned with getting shut down than my shots, you know. And we came back the next day. Oh, so some of the props we had were these corpses that I made, right? I left them there overnight. I'm like, just in case someone comes in, they're gonna see these corpses and they're gonna run. So, but it was wild. But this was the day I met Kaz. So Kaz came out, and Kaz he's got such a brilliant eye. He's like, yo, what you think of this angle? I was like, that's dope. What else you got? And so, you know, and that's the collaboration. I'm not too big to to not take someone's advice. You know, this man has a brilliant eye, and he helped me get a bunch of dope shots that I hadn't thought about. You know, but there was that pressure cooker. You know, and Harold was such a trooper. Harold Dennis, oh man, he really brought that character to life. And I also have to credit my cousin Jason Dorsey. So Jason, my cousin, he's a vet. I think he did 2 or 3 tours in Afghanistan. And I originally asked him to show Harold how to handle weapons realistically. So I love military and tactical stuff. So I hate when I see actors don't know how to handle a weapon, right? So he came by Harold's house and they went through, you know, CQB, clearing, you know, how you clear a house in the military and things like that, or clear a structure. And so in that same process, Jason got to talking about his experience in Afghanistan, right? And the PTSD he has. And Harold realized his character in Reset, I'm not gonna spoil it for you if you haven't seen it, has extreme PTSD, and you'll see why in the movie. And so that ended up helping Harold, and then it just grew. And Harold, you turned this simple story that I remember, I wrote Reset sitting in the lobby of my dad's dialysis clinic when he was alive. Okay, I was like, I gotta do this. And yeah, it was just like, that was the idea. Ran it to Tommy, we jumped back and forth, and Harold brought so much life to this character, and I get chills every time I watch it. Thanks, Harold.
So one last little question. If you can, if you could, if you feel cool about this, talk about the influence of your father, and talk about the influence of your son now on your creativity.
Yes. So a little background on my dad. My dad comes from Kingston, Georgia. And while he was in Georgia, when he got out of high school, well, while he was in high school in the South, they were basically trying to turn everybody into agriculture, sharecroppers, whatever. But my dad had an aptitude, a mechanical aptitude. He wanted to know about things and machinery and electronics. And he had a teacher that was like, okay. So, while everybody else was going farming, this teacher found a movie theater in downtown, right outside of Kingston, I forgot the town it was in, and got him a job sweeping up there, right? The teacher told him, he's like, look, they're not gonna teach you, but just watch, just keep watching. Watch what they do, everything they do. My dad learned how to edit film. So back in the day, if a theater, depending on what town you were in, if the theater thought something wasn't appropriate, they would actually edit the film in the theater, right? So they had the razor slicer, you look through the thing. So my dad learned how to edit. And then after a film was done, they would throw the movies out. So my dad got the bright idea, they throwing these out, I can play the movies. He taught an older white lady he knew to invest in a projector, right? And he went around the South showing second run movies in the woods on a screen made of sheets. He would hook up with the churches in these towns and get the women of the church to cook and sell hot dogs, hamburgers, whatever. And so back then, this was when you had the colored only theaters, right? I mean, the colored only sections. Those sections were usually way up by the projection booth where it's super hot because they had these big bulbs, bright bulbs that, it's not like today with the LED. So it was hot. It was the worst place you wanted to be in the theater. So he affected the theater community so bad that no one was showing up. No blacks were showing up in the theaters. And they were like, where are the blacks at? Why are they not here? He's showing them in the woods. He's showing these movies. They ran him out of town. And
like around what decade was this? What years was it?
this had to have been in, let's see, he was born in 32, 40s. In the 40s, yeah. Yeah, in the 40s, 50s. And so I remember we went down, before he passed, we went down, and he's like, the last picture show, everybody know him, the Last Picture Show. And I still have, he had a little ledger, and it was a nickel to watch the movie. And I have the ledger. His last movie, it was a Western. I don't know the name of it offhand. It was an old Western. My dad loved Westerns. And that's where I get it from. You know, he loved stories. But not only that, he told me, one of them things I live by, if you don't want me to learn something, don't let me see you do it. Okay? Don't let me see you do it. Like, I would go to trade shows with a tape measure. I'm measuring like, okay, yeah, what's this, aluminum? Okay, yeah. Oh, what's that? That a ball bearing? I've made cranes, steady cams, all kinds. My dad, another one of these things, somebody had to make it and it just magically appeared. You can make it. So, yeah. So, yeah, I miss my dad. And so my son added probably another decade onto my dad's life. They were buddies. But it changed my perspective in a lot of ways. We were already kind of picky in the types of videos and things we would do. We weren't doing anything that was, would degrade women or violence or whatever. And matter of fact, especially back then when you had the video vixens, they preferred to come on our shoots because they knew they weren't going to get harassed, they were going to be safe, we were going to tend to whatever their needs, and they would get paid, So when I had my son, it really, really stuck hard that I need to use my powers for good. What I'm putting in the world can affect him, can affect other kids, things like that. And he's been a beacon of light in that, but also seeing the world through my son's eyes. And to me, the hardest part of this business is to remain creative and fresh. But a child, everything is creative and fresh. So I try to see the world through his eyes, and that's how I get a fresh perspective on a lot of things. Like, he loves anime. Matter of fact, he just got a scholarship for the early college program at the School of the Art Institute, fully paid. Yeah, he's brilliant. But the problem is I've exposed him to so much, it's hard to find programs. He's like, I did that when I was 5, and we're talking to high school students. But he's definitely had a big influence on my life.
Wonderful. Well, thank you very much, man.
I want to add a couple other things real quick.
Oh, yes, sir. Go ahead.
So, it's 2 brothers in this room. Well, you're in this too, but there are 2 brothers in my room, Mark Bell and Daryl Rice, who have supported me. At one point, I had a break-in. Matter of fact, while we were doing Paradigm Grade, I ended up having to repay a client almost $10,000 in stuff that could not be reshot. I didn't have tools to work with. Mark was like, we're going to Micro Center, get you a laptop right now. Simple as that. Daryl, he has equipment, he's like, here. I got stuff, I'm like, wait a minute, this ain't mine, this is Daryl's. I've had this for 2 years, And these brothers are just the kindest, most givingest people that I know. So I gotta give you all a shout.
Yes, absolutely. Well, thank you very, very much, man. It's been a pleasure.
Oh, this has been awesome. Thank you. This has been cathartic for me.
Yes, this is a lot of fun because, just everyone who we know has these entire universes in them for no matter how long we've known them.
Mm-hmm.
And we may, know a little bit about, some aspects and some of their perspectives. But to get the opportunity to really, share and have a voice is, and hear that voice and hear that perspective is really what this series is about. This aspects of Flex Obscura, our industry nights are really about. And so it's been great reflecting here with you, man.
Man, ditto. And this brother here, we done been through so many trials, tribulations, and everything. You have been a brilliant sounding board. Every time you send me an email, it's something that's going to inspire me. Like, oh, check this out. I'm like, well, I can't keep up. But yeah, it's phenomenal. Thank you. And I want to shout out all the other filmmakers that are in this room. I see Simeon in the back, Simeon Frierson. I met him, what was the program?
Chicago Track.
So I don't think I got a chance to speak to you a bunch, but what you took, you ran with. So it's cool that I can hire him now on jobs and stuff. He's a brilliant filmmaker in the making as well. Huh? See? Yep, there you go. Yeah. I want to thank Cool Call Collective. We got to do an event over at Ace Universal as well. We just got to collaborate. Tommy, my writing, I can't say. Tommy he's such a brilliant writer, but also so humble. Like, I can give him an idea, and if I don't like something, he changes it, there's no issues, whatever, and it comes out brilliant, and he figures things out. He's just amazing. Oh, yeah.
Matter of fact, he has a new project that he's getting together called Evil Usher.
Yes, there's a Kickstarter, right? Or GoFundMe, which
Yeah, we've raised some money privately. Yeah, we've raised some money privately, and then we did start an Indiegogo just to see how that would go. And then even after that ends, we still, we'll still be in a mix of, receiving things too. You don't necessarily have to, if the Indiegogo ends, we could still, get money. But we are planning on shooting this fall.
It's a silent film.
Yeah, we're doing a slasher film, but it's going to be in the style of a 20s silent film. Yeah,
and that's what Tommy always has these brilliant ideas. I'll be like, how does he come up with this stuff?
Where can the people who's watching live go to?
Oh, they can. If they want to go to, they can go to evilushermovie.com, and then you can, if you go on Indiegogo, you can look up Evil Usher movie, and it'll be on there as well. They can go to the website. We're also on Instagram, Evil Usher 1. They can find us in a bunch of ways. Thank you. Back to Chris.
All right, everyone. Well, thank you very much for this evening. And please keep your eyes open for Afrofuturist Weekend, October 2nd through the 7th, and definitely the 4th. Come out to our evening, to October 4th, for the Flex Obscura the Flex Obscura evening of Afrofuturist Weekend. We're going to have some absolutely amazing programs and wonderful films.
Can I share one more?
Yes.
Okay, so one of my clients is Floyd Mayweather. Okay, we've had some interesting times. So he's actually a pretty cool guy. Deion Taylor is currently him and Hidden Empire, his company, are working on a documentary. So before him, me and my brother were actually working on a documentary, and Floyd actually worked it out, so they're gonna license the stuff we shot. So in the meantime, I was talking to my brother, and I was just like, yo, we got all these crazy stories. I've had this idea called Life in the Fishbowl. And it's basically our experience with Floyd Mayweather, some of our experiences. So I'm gonna share one with you that's pretty interesting. It's titled, Denzel Washington is a Ninja. Floyd decided that we were going to go to several NBA playoff games, and whenever I say we, I mean the whole Money Team crew, which included at least 4 bodyguards, his barber, Jay Blaine, P-Rilla, several women, my brother, and myself. So for this particular game, we were in New York. Now, anyone who knows me know I don't follow any sports at all. So I couldn't tell you the names of any players, so the stadium where we were going had a really cool way for VIPs to enter. We were in a couple of black SUVs, I think they were Escalades or something comparable, and we drove to a secured gate, which opened up, and then we drove onto a very large freight elevator. The next thing I know, we get out, and we can see the court, not far from where we got out of the trucks. So as we began walking towards courtside, Floyd is flanked on all sides by his very efficient security team as we enter the arena. Fans start calling and cheering as they see Floyd enter, when I notice a fast-moving blur of a person make their way around and through our entourage, perimeter security and all, and pops up literally right in front of a stunned Floyd. Everyone is even more stunned at the realization that this very adept, possible security threat is none other than the awesome, amazing Denzel Washington. When I say he must have channeled his Book of Eli character, he was so fast and fluid, I looked at everyone with, did Denzel Washington just really get through all of us in 2.5 seconds? Even Floyd had to side-eye his team in a quick, how did he get up on me through all y'all look? Mr. Washington shook Floyd's hand while eagerly complimenting him and calling him champ with that big earnest smile. He was a true fan of Floyd and it showed. That's when I came to the realization that Denzel Washington was a ninja. Thank you.
I know like that was the end, but I have a job to do, so I have to end it, especially for those there. For those of you still here, we have a few minutes. We're gonna play music, and I know a brother asked, can we work together? We're here to network. There's a lot of talent in this room, and some of y'all probably know each other, so reminisce, catch up. But if you don't know nobody, extend a hand or hug, or dap, because COVID still exists. It's okay. You know what I'm saying? We're here together in community. Thank you so much once again to Chris Adams. Round of applause. And our moderator, Johnny Woods. Look, y'all, this was half of Impakt Studios. I know Hana Mitchell, shout outs to you wherever you are. I'm sorry to just, mess up y'all program, but y'all gotta bring her, because this is what happened.
Yeah, you gotta get her. You hear that?
Absolutely.
You hear that, Blaq?
We'd have been here until tomorrow. Like tomorrow she was here, so we gotta bring it back. Please, once again, visit our vendors, Master of Original and Forge Fantasies. So we got art here. We're gonna play some music. Thanks to all of our staff. I know the internet stream went down, so thank y'all for sticking with us.
Thanks, Elastic.
Yes, and yeah, thank you, Elastic Arts. Thank you to everybody. Don't forget, follow them on Instagram at Flex Obscura. That's with an A _ series and festival.
That's with an O.
Oh, with an O. Sorry. Wait, what? Obscura. You're messing with me. Obscura. Not Obscura. Obscura.
Oh, you said, I thought you were saying, never mind.
Yeah. The last vowel. Flex Obscura _ series and festival. Impakt Studio.
IMPAKT Studio.
All right.
Platforms.
Thank y'all so much, and until next time, see y'all in October for the Flex Obscura actual film festival during Afrofuturist Weekend. And if y'all enjoy what I do, I'm on social media at MOG Dance, that's Mob Dance, and DJ King GNS. Thank y'all. Good night. Peace. And yes, let's kick it, y'all.